Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on News 12. I'm Kurt Semder. Lots to talk about at this hour when it comes to the new COVID vaccine and, of course, the search for a cure. We're going to get to those top stories for you in just a couple of minutes, but right now we begin with breaking news at this hour. And if you work in a state hospital, listen up. All patient-facing healthcare workers must get the COVID-19 vaccine. That's right, Christy. In an exclusive interview with News 12, I spoke with the Board of Elections Commissioner Miguelina Camillo about the primary, what went right, what went wrong, and what's going to happen next. Break out the umbrellas and raincoats. It is that kind of Saturday. We are on storm watch this morning. As you can see here, the radar very busy. We're going to go right to meteorologist Hope Osewika now to see what the latest is. Hope. All right, I want to get a check of our weather right now with meteorologist Kiana Lewis. Kiana, I stepped outside for like a brief moment this afternoon, got punched in the face by humidity. That's the only way I could describe it.
Yeah, you described it very well.
A family once homeless saw brighter days ahead when they were placed into an apartment. However, they say it has turned into a living nightmare. As News 12's Anthony Carlo explains from Bed-Stuy, that new home is at the center of a scandal, and that family's calls for help have fallen on deaf ears. Well, just hours away, Simone Biles returns to action. She'll be competing in the balance beam final in Tokyo.
All eyes are going to be on the GOAT as the event marks her last chance to secure a medal at the Games and the first event since she withdrew from the women's team final last Tuesday, citing mental health concerns.
Going to be very exciting to see this. In the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio, Biles grabbed the bronze medal in the balance beam finals, wishing her the best of luck.
And we wish her the best.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for making us your first choice this evening as we take you through the 2021 New York City primary election results right here on News 12. I'm Kurt Semder. The House passed the HEROES Act, but that seems to not be going anywhere. Mitch McConnell just passed something in the Senate. That doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. How do we come together here and make something happen that's going to actually help people?
Yeah, it's an excellent question.
What's your favorite N.K. Jemisin novel?
Oh, The 100 Kingdoms.
That was an easy one. I told you there'd be easy ones here.
Well, because you went to black fantasy. That's what you did there. That's what you went to the genre. You listen. You listen.
Yes, you told me.
We love that.
Favorite professional wrestler?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Mine too.
All-time great.
Mine too. Do you have an impression?
Oh, yeah. That's not very good.
As we sit here today, what are your thoughts on where we stand with the governor and those allegations, and do you still think he should resign?
So I still think he should resign.
There is a lot on the ballot this year, regardless of where in the city you live. In fact, there are both Democratic and Republican primaries in the race for the next mayor of New York City, and that's not all. We've got Democratic primaries in comptroller, for borough president, public advocate, and all 51 seats in the city council are up for grabs in primaries this month. Now, we're going to dive into some of these races in just a few minutes, but first, this is really going to be an election unlike any other. And the reason is ranked choice voting. For the first time, voters can rank up to 5 candidates on their ballot. Ranked choice voting was voted on and approved by New Yorkers back in 2019. But now that it's here, how does it work?
Kurt Semder joins us now, though, to break all the numbers down. There's a lot.
There is a lot there, Christy, and we want to stress right off the bat. These results are unofficial and preliminary. They include just in-person ballots, but they do give a clearer picture of the race. Once again, Eric Adams does have over 50% of the vote, but his large lead over Maya Wiley from primary election night, well, not only has it dwindled significantly to an edge of about 16,000 votes, but now he's leading Catherine Garcia, who's in second. All right, let's take a quick look and see how this happened. Once we get to round 10 here, we're down to just about 4 candidates. Andrew Yang gets eliminated, and you see where his votes then started to move. We're talking about a significant amount of votes. He campaigned with Garcia, told his supporters to vote her second, and it looks like they listened. 36,000 votes going her way, just 13,000 going to Wiley. Why is that important? Well, it allowed Garcia to jump into second. So in the next round, it's Maya Wiley who gets eliminated, and take a look how close this is here. We are talking a razor-thin margin. Over 116,000 votes from Maya Wiley go to Catherine Garcia, putting her right there at 49%. Eric Adams, though, does cross the threshold at 51% there, so he right there is good. But again, these are unofficial results. Now, Catherine Garcia releasing a statement on the latest report. It says, in part, we're still waiting for more than 120,000 absentee ballots to be counted, and we are confident about a path to victory. We look forward to the final results. Democracy is worth waiting for. We're going to hear from Catherine Garcia later tonight. New York was ahead of the curve when it comes to women's suffrage. In 1917, 3 years before the 19th Amendment was passed, women here in the state were allowed to vote. 2 years later, Republican Ida Samis and Democrat Mary Lilly, well, they became the first women to serve in the New York State Assembly. Fast forward 100 years, and 1/3 of Assembly members now are women. Brooklyn continuing to be a hotspot of female representation this past primary election. 3 political newcomers, all women, all of different backgrounds and races, defeating longtime male incumbents. Emily Gallagher, community advocate and longtime Greenpoint resident, pulled off a stunning upset in Assembly District 50, ousting Assemblyman Joseph Lentil, who has represented North Brooklyn since 1973. Gallagher says she wants to bring transparency to Albany.
We want to have open conversations about how the government works and how it's broken and what needs to be fixed. And the status quo has been that when there's a major problem like that, no one will admit it, no one will tell you what's going wrong.
Just to the south in Assembly District 51 is Marcela Matenas. Born in Peru and raised in Sunset Park, she's been an activist for tenants' rights and rode that moment to a primary victory over Felix Ortiz, who's held the seat since 1995.
This pandemic really made it clear that the government, in the middle of this health crisis, was really putting profits over the lives of working class people. And our platform laid out a vision for a better world that spoke to people.
Right in the middle, Assembly District 57, where Crown Heights native and nurse Farah Souffrant Forrest defeated Walter Mosley in the Democratic primary. She believes her experience as a nurse will translate well to government.
To be able to go up to Albany and be the candidate that is issue-based and say that, listen, we are going to solve these issues by following these exact steps. That's just the skill set of a nurse, and that should be the skill set of a politician.
If they win in the general election, all 3 will be welcomed in Albany by Brooklyn's first female Democratic Party leader, Assemblymember Rodneyce Bichotte.
Really good to see that these 3 women worked hard, had a vision, and their vision came into fruition.
Now, the victories by these 3 women could shift the balance of representation in the borough. Heading into the primaries, Brooklyn Assembly men outnumbered women 12-8. But now it's going to be women leading the way, 11-9 if they win in the general election in the heavily Democratic districts. And if you ask them, no one should be surprised.
There's no more coronations. It's over now. Sorry. The face matters. The representation matters, and we're standing up for the most vulnerable people.
Most activist organizations and community organizations and civic organizations, school boards, are all run by women.
As a head of household, as a mom, as an advocate with my job, as all the different hats that we wear, I think it's just becoming more apparent, and we're showing how government is more of a reflection of the community that we serve.
We're women, we're Black, we're Latino, we're LGBT, we're young, we're new, we're mature, and I think the voters wanted to see change.
And that change is heading upstate in 2021. Kurt Semder, News 12. It's a moment Richard Ramos wasn't sure would ever happen. The 45-year-old from the South Bronx watching his girlfriend of 5 years, Rosemary, walk down the aisle for their wedding day.
This is one of the happiest days of my life. Besides everything of my life, she means the world to me, and I love her.
The wedding isn't exactly how they pictured it, but they're thankful for it. Richard was diagnosed with COVID-19 almost 6 months ago. His doctors telling us there was a point when they weren't sure he would recover.
We are gathered here today.
But he fought back, and Richard is now doing much better thanks to his doctors and the support of his bride.
No matter how sick, whatever it means, sick or health, and all the bad stuff that comes into life, she's been through there for me. So I know she was the one.
As long as you both shall live.
Making this moment happen wasn't easy. The staff at the Wayne Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation had already constructed this plexiglass room at the entrance to the facility for visits. It was complete with holes so that the couple could hold hands and exchange rings.
I give this ring to you.
They also completely transformed the front of the Norwood facility into a wedding venue, decorated with balloons, candles, and even a wedding cake.
Thanks for everything, making this possible. Thanks for the therapist for helping him walk again, helping him get back on his feet. He's a COVID victim, and he survived. He's been through a lot, and he's made it this far.
Doctors here at the Wayne Center describe Richard's recovery as nothing short of a miracle. They say that he's been working hard every day to make sure he was ready for his wedding day.
And I asked the bride and groom if they ever thought about postponing the ceremony. They said they couldn't wait.
Felt wonderful. I'm happy, and I got to share it with the one that I love. So I'm grateful, and it was perfect.
I declare that they are husbands and wives.
In the Norwood section of the Bronx, Kurt Semder, News 12.